After creating the pivot table, you may notice something. Excel automatically gives me the sum of revenue when I drag in the revenue to the values area. So what if I drag in other field? And let's try dragging the category to the values field. And now Excel gives me the count of category. And why is that so? The simple idea here is that pivot table look at the type of field that I've added in. If I go back to the sales data, we can see that the revenue is actually a numeric field and the category is a text field. So when the field contains numeric value like revenue, then Excel automatically sum the numbers up. And when the field contains text values, then Excel will usually count them by default. But we can always change the calculation to what we needed. So let's say I do not want the sum of revenue and I want the average of revenue instead. So to change the calculation, I just click on the down button and then go to value field settings. And then at the summarize value by, I can choose count, average, max, mean, and so on. So for now, I'll just choose average, then click on OK. And instead of total revenue, now I got the average revenue. And this is important because different fields require different calculation. For example, for revenue, sum is usually useful because we often want to see the total sales. So for now, I'll just change it back to sum. But for something like discount, sum is usually not that useful. It's better to use average because by using average, we can take a look at the typical discount rate. So let me pull in the discount and let's change this to average instead of the sum. Then click on OK. And now I've got the average discount for each product. And one more thing is that sometimes in pivot table, the numbers may look messy. Let me just go back to the data and then let's add a new column. Let's name it as revenue 2 and I'll just copy the revenue and then paste as value. And the data type here is a general data type. And I'll go back to the pivot table and refresh it. And let's drag in the revenue 2. And you can see that for revenue 2, there's no thousand separator and there's no decimal places. And if I change this to average, then click on OK, and this becomes messier. To fix this, we can just go to the field and then click on the down button and click on value field settings and then click on the number format. And over here, we can change the number format to anything that we want. And for now, I'll just choose the number and then select the thousand separator and also 2 decimal places. Then click on OK and click on OK again. And Excel formats the numbers that we have set just now. And it's better to format these numbers at the value field settings instead of formatting at the cell manually because the number format in the value field settings stay connected with the pivot table field. So in the future, if the data for revenue 2 grows, and if I refresh this pivot table, this number format will always stick to this field. Pivot table make assumptions based on your data, so the key lesson here is to always check whether the calculation makes sense and then format your data or modify the calculation based on what you need. And if you find this tutorial useful, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And in the next video, I'll show you how to sort, filter, and find top results and also grouping inside pivot table.